Like
Yeah.
David Tua. You ever see David Tua fight?
No.
He's a heavyweight boxer. Fought like he had
I feel
like,
like I know that
crazy
name, yeah.
potential. He lost to Lennox Lewis when Lennox Lewis was on the top.
Yeah.
But David Tua was crushing people.
I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me.
The undisputed, the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world,
This would have been pure chaos. Mike Tyson, explosive, ruthless, a human wrecking ball with the speed of a lightweight and the power of a freight train. His opponents didn't just lose fights, they were annihilated, sent crumbling to the canvas before they even knew what hit them. And then there's David Tua, the Samoan destroyer, a walking juggernaut with a chin of steel and a left hook so deadly it could end a career in an instant. The moment these two would have collided, it wouldn't have been just a fight. It would have been a war, a demolition derby of destruction where one mistake meant lights out. The question is, who survives? Would Tyson's ferocious speed overwhelm Tua before he could even get going? Or would Tua, unshaken and relentless, eat everything Tyson throws and land one thunderous shot that changes everything? The answer to this ultimate dream fight lies ahead, so don't blink, because this is about to get wild. Power, speed, ruthlessness. These weren't just boxers, they were forces of nature. Fighters didn't just step into the ring with Mike Tyson or David Tua, they stepped into a nightmare, one they rarely escaped from unscathed. The fear they generated wasn't just hype, it was real. Opponents weren't just concerned about losing, they were terrified of what would happen to them inside that ring. Because when Tyson or Tua landed clean, it wasn't just a knockdown, it was devastation. Careers ended, bodies crumbled, and the message was clear: enter at your own risk. Mike Tyson. The very mention of his name sent chills through the heavyweight division. This wasn't just a fighter, this was a wrecking machine, a merciless executioner who didn't just defeat his opponents, he erased them. He was a 5'10" wrecking ball of controlled rage, exploding out of the corner with the speed of a cobra and the destructive power of a sledgehammer. Fighters knew that if they made even the slightest mistake, dropped their guard for half a second, it was over. The way he stalked his prey, bobbing and weaving like a nightmare coming to life, before unleashing those vicious hooks and uppercuts, Tyson didn't just beat his opponents, he annihilated them before they could even react. Trevor Berbick, gone in 2 rounds. Michael Spinks, destroyed in 91 seconds. Grown men, world-class athletes, some of the toughest warriors in boxing, reduced to helpless victims, folding under the sheer force of Iron Mike. And the worst part? They knew what was coming. They had seen the destruction he left behind. And yet, when the bell rang, nothing could prepare them for the storm that was Tyson. But if Tyson was a storm, David Tua was an earthquake. He didn't just hit hard, he hit with terrifying, bone-crushing power. If there was ever a fighter who could shrug off bombs and deliver a nuclear explosion in return, it was Tua. His left hook? A thing of legend. It didn't just knock people out, it sent them into another dimension. Fighters were carried out of the ring, their heads spinning, their bodies twitching from the shockwave that had just flattened them. One punch, that's all it took. John Ruiz, gone in 19 seconds. Michael Moorer, a former world champion, wiped out in just 30. These weren't just knockouts, these were obliterations. The kind of finishes that made everyone watching take a deep breath and ask, is he okay? Because when Tua landed, there was no getting back up. It didn't matter if you were bigger, taller, or more technical, one clean shot and your night was over. But the scariest part? Tua could take it just as well as he gave it. His chin was an iron fortress, an unbreakable shield that absorbed punishment without flinching. He walked through fire, took bombs from the hardest hitters, and never hit the canvas. Lennox Lewis, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, hit him with everything, but Tua never budged. 2 monsters, 2 human wrecking machines. Tyson, the relentless executioner with speed and brutality. Tua, the immovable destroyer with one-shot fight-ending power. The fear factor was real. The damage they inflicted was permanent. And if these two had ever stood across from each other, one thing was certain: somebody wasn't leaving that ring the same. And now, with the stage set, let's break it down. What would have happened if these two forces of nature had actually collided? Let's dive into the tale of the tape, the strengths, the weaknesses, and why this dream fight could have been the most explosive clash in heavyweight history. Would Tyson's speed and savage precision be too much? Or would Tua's legendary chin and monstrous left hook have left the world shocked? This isn't just a dream fight, it's a war between 2 of the most devastating heavyweights in history, and in this war, only one survives. You couldn't ask for a more evenly matched clash in terms of size and raw power. Tyson and Tua were built like tanks, compact, explosive, and absolutely lethal. At 5 feet 10 inches, 178 centimeters, and around 220 to 230 pounds, they were shorter than most heavyweights of their era, but made up for it with sheer brutality. They weren't just strong, They were freakishly powerful. Their low center of gravity allowed them to slip punches and come back with wrecking ball counterattacks. But the difference? Tyson's speed versus Tua's endurance. Tyson was like a Ferrari, a high-speed, high-performance machine that came out the gate blazing. His footwork was rapid, his head movement was slick, and he'd be in your face before you could even react. His explosiveness meant he could throw 6 punch combinations with bone-snapping speed. He rushed opponents like a madman, cutting angles with frightening efficiency. If you didn't have elite-level defense, you wouldn't survive the opening rounds. Tua, on the other hand, was a tank that never stopped rolling forward. He didn't explode. He marched, methodical, relentless, eating shots and walking through hell just to land one of his own. He wasn't in a rush, he was in a hunt. He'd take punishment, let his opponents tire themselves out, and then when they slowed down for just a second, boom, one left hook, and it was over. So what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? No question. Both of these men could end fights in an instant. Tyson's power wasn't just about brute strength. It was the way he delivered it, the perfect timing, the technique, the angles. His punches came from nowhere, launched like missiles from a fighter jet. He could slip inside, smash a left hook to the body, then come upstairs with a ferocious right uppercut that turned the lights out instantly. His knockouts weren't just brutal, they were surgical. A master of the peekaboo style, Tyson generated power from his legs, twisting into every punch with perfect mechanics. But if Tyson's power was like a precise explosion, Tua's power was a nuclear detonation. That left hook, the most feared weapon in heavyweight boxing. One clean shot and careers were over. John Ruiz, gone in 19 seconds. Michael Moorer, out cold in 30 seconds. Tua didn't need angles. He didn't need setups. One shot and it was over. And unlike Tyson, who relied on speed and counters, Tua's power came from a thick, immovable base. You could push him, hit him, try to outwork him, but eventually he would land, and when he did, it was lights out. So if this fight happened, the question isn't who hits harder, it's who lands first. This is where things get interesting. Tyson was nearly unstoppable in his prime. He absorbed punishment well, but there was one major problem: he didn't like getting hit. If he was the hammer, everything was fine, but when he became the nail, that's when things got shaky. When Buster Douglas, Evander Holyfield, and Lennox Lewis started landing clean, Tyson didn't just get hurt. He crumbled. He could be discouraged. He could be broken. Tua, he didn't break, ever. His chin was legendary. No one, not Lennox Lewis, not Ike Ibeabuchi, not anyone, could put him down. He took bombs and just kept moving forward. And this is where the fight takes a dangerous turn for Tyson. If he doesn't put Tua away early, if he gets into a war of attrition, does he have the heart to outlast Tua? Now comes the real question: who dictates the fight? Tyson was a first-round killer. He came in bobbing and weaving, throwing lightning-fast hooks and uppercuts to rip his opponents apart. If Tua didn't start fast, he'd be in serious trouble. Tyson's early round pressure was overwhelming. He didn't just win fights, he bulldozed people. If Tua started slow, Tyson could put him away before he even warmed up. But what if Tua survived the storm? That's when things shift dramatically. Tua was the longer lasting threat. He didn't slow down, he kept coming. Round after round, taking punishment and still marching forward. He wasn't afraid to take shots because he knew he had the ultimate equalizer. If Tyson lost steam by round 4 or 5, Tua would take over, and that's when things get truly dangerous. This fight is a true 50-50 war. It all comes down to one simple factor: can Tua survive the early rounds? If Tyson comes out, dominates, and lands clean shots early, Tua is in serious trouble. Tyson's speed and explosive combinations could be too much for him, and the fight might not last long. But if Tua makes it past round 5, that's where the nightmare begins for Tyson. Tyson was a fighter who needed control. He needed fear to keep his opponents frozen, but Tua wasn't afraid of anyone. He had the chin, the power, and the durability to push Tyson into deep waters where Tyson historically struggled. And if Tua landed that one left hook, it could be over in an instant. So, who wins? The lightning-fast executioner who destroyed everyone in the first few rounds, or the unstoppable juggernaut who only needed one punch? One thing's for sure, this wouldn't be a fight. It would be a massacre. Two warriors locked in battle, knowing that one of them wasn't making it out the same. Let's talk about what the world would have witnessed if these two had actually stood across from each other. The fight that never happened, but should have. The bell rings. The arena is electric. Two of the most devastating punchers in history stand across from each other. Mike Tyson versus David Tua. This is a fight where survival is measured in seconds. Tyson explodes forward. The peekaboo defense is tight, Head movement is sharp, and he's ripping combinations instantly. Tua is covering up, trying to withstand the early storm, but Tyson isn't stopping. His speed is overwhelming, and for the first time, Tua looks uncomfortable. He's used to slow, methodical fights, but Tyson is too fast, too precise. Tua wobbles, but his chin holds up. Tua tries to fire back. The crowd is on their feet. Tyson steps in, dips low, and launches one final uppercut. Boom! Tua crumbles. He's down. Mike Tyson wins by knockout. The dream fight ends the only way it could, with pure devastation. A fight that never happened, but one that would have been an absolute war. But what do you think? Could David Tua's legendary chin have withstood the storm? Could he have found that one perfect shot to change everything? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you love these dream fight breakdowns, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the greatest what-if fights in boxing history.